The Information Regulator South Africa says it has conducted 80 own initiative PAIA compliance assessments on public and private bodies. These assessments are for the financial year 2024-25 in the Promotion of Access to Information Act division. The regulator says in this period, it found that many bodies still fail to make PAIA manuals publicly accessible. According to the regulator, this is a criminal offence which hinders the public's right to information. The Information Regulator says it received a complaint against SARS last year relating to former President Jacob Zuma's individual tax returns for the tax years 2010 to 2018 held by SARS. It says, following its investigation, it has directed SARS to release Zuma's tax records.
We only issued the enforcement notice. So once the SARS has received the same, obviously they'll acknowledge our receipt. But the enforcement notice on the Thompson versus the former President Jacob Zuma was issued.
The Concord made a decision about the constitutionality of the Income Tax Act, I think it's section 37 and something, and also the two sections in PAIA, which is very important. But basically the principle there, the Concord is saying in South Africa there's no such a thing as absolute prohibition. So there's nothing like there's information that cannot be disclosed. There are certain circumstances which may warrant that such information can be disclosed. And in this case of the former president, the SARS was arguing that these are confidential tax records, they cannot be disclosed, but the Act is very clear that, if there's suspicion of commission of crime, that information can be disclosed, obviously subject to certain protocols.
In another case, the regulator says it has gone to court following the Department of Education's failure to adhere to its enforcement notice regarding the publication of the annual matric results.
The maximum fine that we have levied is 5 million against the Department of Basic Education and against the Department of Justice, and both matters are in court. The maximum fine that we can issue is 10 million rands. But there is something that I also want to explain that might not maybe be very clear, and that is in respect of PAIA. Where we've issued an enforcement notice in PAIA, and the enforcement notice is not complied with, the only recourse that we have is to open a criminal case against the information officer for public bodies. For instance, if it's a government department, will open a criminal case, as we have done, against the DG or acting DG. If it's a private body, we then open a criminal case against the head of that private body. That is why we are saying that is not enough. You can open the criminal case, but what happens to the information?
The regulator says the number of POPIA complaints has gone up by 34% in the 2024-25 financial year, and it says it remains concerned with non-compliance by municipalities and TVET colleges in the country. Nothando Makutulela, SABC News, Johannesburg.